In this lesson, we will explore the concept of the game loop, which is the heart of every interactive game. The game loop keeps the game running, updates the game state, and handles user input continuously until the game ends. It is essential to implement a smooth and responsive game loop to ensure that the game runs as expected. Key concepts. Game loop structure. The game loop continuously checks for user input, updates game elements, and displays frames or content until the game ends. User input. Process input commands within the loop to update the game state based on the player's actions. Delays and frames. Use delays to control the game's frame rate, ensuring that actions are visible and responsive. Example 1. Basic game loop. The game loop should continue running until the player decides to exit. Explanation. This game loop keeps asking for user input until the player types exit. The loop exits when the user types the exit command. Example 2. Handling movement and commands. Let's update the player's position based on user input. Explanation. In this example, the player moves based on the input coordinates. The loop continues to run and the position is updated each time. Example 3. Frame display with delay control the frame rate by adding a delay to the game loop. Explanation. This game loop simulates the display of 3 frames, pausing for 1 second between each frame to control the speed of the game. Example 4. Game loop with user action handles specific actions based on user input inside the game loop. Explanation. This loop listens for user actions such as pick to collect an item or quit to stop the game. If the user enters an invalid command, the loop informs them and continues. In this lesson, we learned how to create a game loop that runs continuously, checking for user input and updating the game state. Handle user actions within the game loop, updating the game accordingly. Control frame rates by adding delays to the loop to ensure smooth gameplay. These concepts are crucial for developing interactive games where the game state needs to be constantly updated based on user input.